Good morning and welcome to a Sun Dream Team deadline stream for game week 2. It's just myself this morning. Congratulations to Tony and his family. They've just had a little baby boy, so he obviously can't be here this morning. And Ben is on holiday, so you've just got me this morning. Feels a bit strange just doing this on my own rather than not with the usual Dream Team Tonic gang, but we'll try and get through as many questions as we can this morning. Let me know in the comments if it's coming through okay, because I got a few notifications saying my Wi-Fi was playing up this morning. So yeah, give me the heads up that you can hear me all right in the chat if you can. And I'll start going through a few of these questions ahead of the deadline, and then share with you how my team is looking, because I'm having a few doubts since the last pod. So good morning to everyone in the chat. Stop Online Hate was first in. Massive City fan. I think he's got a full 11 of City players in his team, same as last year as well. And I think he looks like he's backing Gundogan to get a hat trick this week. So good luck to you, mate. I'd offer you good £2 million alternatives, but you're only going to choose City players. So do your thing, mate. Do your thing. Ice Kitty, 3 million to spend on defense or mid. Was thinking Livramento. I don't know who's in your team, but I've got Lewis Hall at 3 million or Robinson. I think both of them done pretty well. Both got the clean sheet. Livramento seems like he's pretty sound to get the clean sheet again with Trippier. Slowly on the way out, maybe. He's getting linked with Everton now. He was getting linked with Saudi, now getting linked with Everton. So it's getting a bit less glamorous for him. But it does seem like he is going. So I do think Livramento will probably be fairly safe for 3 million. But I think the Robinson fixtures look pretty decent this week, with Leicester home, Birmingham away, and then they've got Ipswich away in the following week. So it's not like it's just a 1 week. Game week 4, West Ham at home. So if you do get stuck with him, and you can't get European players in, I don't think that's a big problem. If you haven't got him already, that is. I'll open another tab so I can just see if you're putting your team elsewhere. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on that anyway. But yeah, I think Robinson's a good shout, especially as they're adding Anderson as well. It seems like they've signed Anderson from Crystal Palace, so he could be a good shout to shore up that defence a little bit. Adam Westlake, I've put Doku in this week for Szoboszlai, but worried Doku might not start with Foden coming back in. Is it worth the risk? I couldn't tell you if Doku's going to start or not. He did do well that last game. Quite a lot of dribbles. I will keep an eye on team news on this, because there is often quite a lot of City team news, but obviously the deadline's been moved further back, although that is in line with the new teams getting revealed. But it's a 3 o'clock kickoff, so I reckon we could get some leaks. Whether or not Doku's one of the ones that the big FPL pages are leaking, I'm not sure. But I had my eye on Doku for this week at 4 million, but I did sort of bottle it for that same reason. I'm not 100% sure. It seemed like that Savinho guy was injured, so I thought that helped his chances of getting the start. But it seems like he's been training okay, so I'm not 100% sure, mate. I feel like they should give Foden a go through the middle again, but yeah, it's just always a risk with City. So it's whether you fancy the gamble. But if he does play against Ipswich, I think that could be a really good one. Need to transfer Kwanzaa. Obviously stung everyone. Well, it didn't even really sting everyone. You brought him in. You thought he was going to start. He did start. And then Arnie Slot is going around changing centre-backs at half-time. Disgusting behaviour, really. I would definitely move him on, because he said the reason that he took him out was because he wasn't winning his duels. And I feel like Brentford's one of the sort of hardest teams when it comes to that. So wouldn't be surprised if Konate starts. I want Gvardiol, but I need 1.5 mil. Thinking Gibbs White to Yates or Gordon to Minte/Mainu. Other option is just move Kwanzaa to Burn and forget Gvardiol. I really don't like the Yates move. I've seen loads of people choose Yates, and I don't know if people are just choosing Yates because he got an assist last week and because he scored good points, but he didn't start the game. the starters, he only came on because I think Danilo got injured. Now he did come on and he did put a shift in, but yeah, I don't see Yates being a very solid pick, to be honest with you. He could prove me wrong, but even the fact he got an assist, he took a shot from long range and it was straight at the keeper. The keeper spilled it, and then Chris Wood scored. So it wasn't like he put in a reliable assist either. I don't mind Gordon to Minte. I think Gordon's obviously a really good pick still. I think I would prefer going Minte to Mainu. I know Minte had that head injury, so was a doubt, but you've got 2 games this week. So I feel like if he doesn't get the first one, maybe there's a chance he gets Crawley, which could be a really good one to get if you didn't get the Premier League match. And then from then onwards, I imagine he's going to be a main starter. I do think I would try and get Vardiol in, because I think you'll be keeping, once Vardiol's in, I think you'll be keeping him long term. I think Mainu proved us all wrong, or maybe just in this one game. He was the most highly selected player at the start of Dream Team this season. And everyone was like, why is everyone choosing Mainu? Is it because he's just played in the Euros and done quite well? But he actually absolutely smashed the bonus, got maximum 5 bonus, 8 points. Whether or not he repeats it again, we'll have to wait and see. But I think out of those options, I think I would maybe try the Minte one. But obviously it does have a little bit of risk with it. But I would really want Vardiol, I think. What other options? I'm guessing you've got 3 mil if you take Vardiol down. Now, another thing you could do, if it is 3 million that you've got, Everton look well depleted. 14 players available apparently for this match, including no right back. And there's talk that they could even be playing 5 at the back. Now, Solanke is injured. So the fact Solanke came in is what put me off of getting Brennan Johnson or Kulusevski. Kulusevski you'll get a price decrease from, but Brennan Johnson got 6 points and he's 3 million. Now, if Kulusevski's going to come in maybe and play striker, Brennan Johnson it might just be a short-term punt, but he started the last game and he done okay. 6 points. What did he get? 1 shot on target, 6 tackles. So maybe Brennan Johnson could be a shout for that Everton fixture. The fixtures get a little bit harder after though. Any news on Trippier? Took my advice and took Quansah out for Munoz. Was also thinking Hall out for Livramento. I don't really see the point in doing Hall out for Livramento. I think Hall's going to start. I don't think there's much in it, to be honest. I feel like that's a bit of a sideways one. That I would just keep Hall. I think. I don't think there's any point moving Hall to Livramento personally. Who's up next? Don't forget to take part in that captaincy poll as well. 235 votes at the minute. Haaland leading the way as the captain with 89%. So Isak with 8%. If you go against Haaland, that is a scary one this week. Sam Horton, I'm wanting Vardiol. Would you swap with Porro or Bruno Fernandes? Do we know if Porro is fit to play, and will Bruno Fernandes get a price decrease? Bruno Fernandes will almost certainly get a price increase, I'm pretty sure. Hang on. 6.6 million. Yeah, I do think he'll probably go down. They're quite harsh on these expensive players. Six. It's horrible though, because Bruno Fernandes looks so good. Like he could have easily had a couple goals in that game. But it's the nature of these price changes, isn't it? Bruno Fernandes. I'd probably take out Bruno. I think that Porro's been past fit to play, I think. So I'd maybe downgrade Bruno Fernandes, but you're losing a midfielder. It's a bit of a horrible one. Because Bruno Fernandes isn't a bad pick. Like 6 points, he could have easily had more. I don't know. I don't like it. I do really want Gvardiol in that team. I guess if you do do it that way round and take Bruno Fernandes, at least you'll have the budget. But it's not nice, is it? Sorry, Sam, that's a tough one. Gary Griffin, not started too well with 73 points. I'm thinking of doing Fernandes, Solanke to Mainu, Salah, or Foden, Muniz. I'd like to know if you have Haaland. I assume you have Haaland. I always want Salah in my team, especially a match at Anfield at home. I would really want to have Salah in that, but Foden Muniz looks okay, but you probably get a price decrease off Foden. I wish I wouldn't have to caveat the price increases every time. I would go Salah Mainu, I think. I think Salah's just too good of a pick, to be honest with you. 73 points as well. I'm guessing that's probably just down to Salah and the captaincy last week, so I don't think it's too bad of a week. C Partridge needs Quansah out. Can move him to Vardiol if I move Gordon to Joe Linton or Gibbs White to Kraft. I don't like the Kraft move, to be honest. And I know why it's been touted. A lot of people have been saying about it, but I don't like it. I think you'll end up potentially getting stuck with him. It'll probably be good for like 2 games, something like that. And then it's quite hard to move. It's a £1.5 million player, and if you're using the budget, you're going to find it hard to take him out eventually. You're going to need 2 moves to get him out each time, unless a 1.5 million pops up, or he builds up to 2. But even the £2 million price point is quite hard. So I'd probably go for the other one, I think, with Gordon, Joe Linton. It's not perfect. 3 million, maybe you like the Brennan Johnson move potentially. Instead, just a 1 fixture, but I do think home Everton is looking pretty good, the state of their defence at the minute. Took the punt on Barco, but now need to ditch. Who do you think out of Williams, Bowley, Milenkovic, Kraft, or Justin from Leicester? Yeah, that Milenkovic one was weird, wasn't it? No one really knew why he was out, but I think he got suspended. Was it Fiorentina that he played for? He carried over the ban. It's hard with Forest because Williams apparently is getting linked with a move away, but did well. Willy Bolly. I don't know who's now to start for them at the back. Let's have a look. Yeah, see, I think it might have been Bolly that came in for Milenkovic. I think Murillo might have been one of the ones that were down to start. Maybe go for Williams, and then if he does end up with a move away, you can replace. But Aina's out at left back, and that they've just signed Moreno, is it? So he can maybe come in there. I think he did train. Maybe Williams, but there's not that much good choice at 2. Hi, Miss Snoopy. Yeah, just me this morning. Do we leave Palmer in? So Palmer's got Wolves, hasn't he? So this was the latest on Palmer. Let's have a look. I think he was all right in the end. Cole Palmer. I'm pretty sure that I saw he was going to be okay. You could potentially move to Saka if you don't have him already, though. You do get the price increase, and I feel he's a little bit fixture proof. Saka. Cole Palmer in training, no worries apparently. So if you wanted to keep hold of him, I do think he is a good pick for this Wolves game. Morning, Mr. H. Grumpy Mother FPLer. Good morning. I was wondering if I should stick with Jota or upgrade to Salah. I have the money, but it would weaken my midfield. What do you think? I do think if you start, I mean, if I know I started with Salah, so I've obviously had a different opinion there, but like, if you did think that you can cover Salah with Jota and then spread the money better elsewhere. Jota scored, done well, could have had 2 goals. So if that was your plan to start with and you think you can still cover Salah with the rest of the money, then I'd probably stick to the initial plan and not sort of backtrack it after 1 week just because Salah scored and got an assist. Because I mean, surely you thought that could be a possibility, unless you thought that Salah was that much better than you expected in that last game, then you could go the other way. But I would probably, if that was your plan initially, I'd probably stick to the plan. It's not like it wasn't bad thinking. But it was the captaincy that done quite a lot of people. And I don't think that he's going to be heavily captained. Looking at the poll this week, looks about 80% going Haaland. So just to a reminder that Salah is in pretty much all of my teams, but just so you know. Luke Sinclair, good morning. Team is Sells, Munoz, Porro, Robinson, Smith Rowe, Saka, Gibbs White, Murphy, Isak, Haaland, Salah. What changes would you recommend? 3 mil in the bank. Loaded. I mean, I'm getting cold feet on Gibbs White, which I wasn't initially. I wanted to see it out. Obviously, wasn't taking any of the set pieces, which was kind of on the cards. With Alanga taking some. Anderson took some in pre-season, but Anderson didn't start and he still didn't take them. I mean, you haven't got Vardiol, who seems pretty popular. 3 million in the bank. You could maybe just upgrade. I mean, Munoz has got a decent fixture as well, but you could make that upgrade on Munoz to try and get him in. And then Murphy, Gibbs White, Annie, SR. Maybe you could upgrade one of them. I do like ESR's fixtures this week, and I feel like you could get a start and some minutes in the other one if they're trying to build his fitness. Yeah, maybe upgrading one of ESR, Gibbs White, and Murphy. Which one's up to you though? That's tough. I think I'd probably keep ESR for this fixture. I really like the look of Fulham this week. Missed the first week, George Harper. Anyone in particular should be targeting different to my last week's lineup? I mean, if you haven't got different to my last week's one, well, I wasn't going to make any changes. Let me see if I can bring up my team here. One sec. Where does this work? So that's how I was looking last week. Gibbs White and McNeil, a little bit disappointing. I'm toying with the idea of maybe taking them out now and going against my initial thoughts of potentially rolling. Now I'm looking at maybe Pereira and Maddison. If you remember, Maddison was in my sort of first draft that we did pre-season, and then after a few pre-season games, I was starting to look a lot online, and everyone was saying that Maddison wasn't really playing very well. He kept getting subbed early while the rest of the players were getting more minutes, and I was sort of getting a little bit worried about it. But he looked exactly how I wanted him to look really in that last game against Leicester. So I would quite like to get him in. And then the 2.5, I'm not that happy with any of the 2.5 options really. Probably be between Pereira and Semenyo. Semenyo would get me a price rise. Got better odds of scoring, but they had fairly similar attacking returns over last season. I was looking, Semenyo got 12 attacking returns last season for the 2.5 categories. This is, and Andreas had 14. So Pereira had more, but more of them were assists. But I thought he looked really good in that Man United game, or fairly good, but he was taking so many set pieces in it, which was quite appealing. I think Maddison and Pereira took like 20 corners combined in that game week 1. So I'm kind of interested in Pereira. 7 ppm. I mean, if it had hit one more player performance marks and got 3 bonus, I think we would all be a little bit more interested. So I'm looking at maybe doing that, but yeah, it might not be your cup of tea there. Miss Snoopy. Oh, I've done your Palmer question. It's come out twice. Play it safe. We'll take him out. I mean, I still would like Saka if you haven't got him already. 6 million. I mean, I think Palmer is a good pick for this week still. But it's the price decrease if you're worried. It's like Bruno Fernandes and Palmer, if you took price changes out of the equation, would be good picks this week and potentially better picks than Saka. So it's just that part that's playing with our thinking. If you're not that worried or the rest of your team is just doing all right for budget, then I'll probably just stick because we know he's a decent scorer. Morning FPL Sparta. Morning Stu. Need to replace Barco. Would you go Murillo, Bolly, or Williams? Have I read these out already? Or is this a similar question? Similar one. Or Hinchelwood from Brighton. I don't know if Hinchelwood is a starter every week. I was looking at some predicted lineups. I think I bookmarked it. That's what spooked me a bit with McNeil. There's an account called FPL 4P who done a thread on predicted lineups. Does one from every club. So I'll shout him out at FPL 4P, THORPEY. All 20 Premier League lineups predicted by their supporters on Twitter, that is. And then he's someone who did the Brighton one called FPL Instinctive has put Belieber, thinks that the game suits Belieber over Hinchelwood, but he has said there's probably a 50-50 that Hinchelwood starts. So I'm guessing he knows more than me about Brighton. So yeah, maybe I'd worry a little bit about that one. And then I spoke about Nottingham Forest, £2 million assets. None of them look perfect because I don't know which one out of Murillo or Bolly would make way for Milenkovic if he comes back from suspension. And then Williams is getting linked with a move away, but maybe you get away with it for 1 week, get a bit more information. 2 million. I mean, people have mentioned Kraft at 1.5, but I feel like with all of those options, there's strings attached. That's a hard one. That the Barco £2 million has screwed people a little bit because there's not much around at that price. And again, Simon trying to find a replacement for Barco. I think if I had Barco, I would be looking to just downgrade someone else and get it up to a 3 million because it makes you so much more flexible. And the players at 3 million are so much better, like Robinson, Newcastle. You got Hall, haven't you? Hall or Livramento. Yeah, I think there's so many better options at 3 million looking at it. I'd try and get there if I could save $1 million somewhere else. Yes, Stu agree, saying the same. Barco's causing havoc. Trigger Gaming. Anyone thinking Gibbs White for Kovacic to get the increase on him? I mean, yeah, he will. I don't love it, mate, because I just don't think that anyone would have been choosing Kovacic if he hadn't have scored last week. And I think I had a look. I think he scored 2. 1 second, let me have a look here. I'm sure Kovacic scored like 2 or 3 goals last season, so it's not like he's going to keep doing it. But if you're going to get the price wise moving more on, yeah, I do get it, but I don't particularly like it. I think you want to pick players that you'd be happy to keep if anything goes wrong, because anything that can go wrong will go wrong in Dream Team. Typically, you'll get an injury, you'll get some sort of suspension or something that you don't expect. So I think at 3 million, I'd rather go for like a Brennan Johnson or something like that, or someone maybe a little bit more nailed. Even one of those £3 million defenders and change formation. But yeah, it depends how much you want to build budget. Livramento or Robinson? I prefer Robinson for the fixtures. 2 back-to-back, well, Game Week 2 and Game Week 3 is both newly promoted sides. Look really good in that last game. Maybe he gets minutes in the Carabao, but I'm not 100% sure. With Rodri absent, Kovacic will play every game. It's good for points, and having another City asset for 3 million that will go up until Rodri's back, surely a good shout. Yeah, I do get that actually. I just don't love it. Well, I mean the fixture's good, so if he's gonna do well against anyone, it'll be Ipswich. How did he get on last season? It's like 42 points. He's averaging 3 points a game last season. It's not really good at all. 2 goals, 1 assist, 20 bonus. It's not very much. But I guess his average could be brought down by. I know he played 42 games, and I can't imagine he subbed on that many times. So yeah, I don't really love it unless you just want to get him and move him on for the budget. But yeah, I don't really like it, to be honest with you. Ryan, another Barco owner, and so Barco and regrettably Pope out for Veltman and Bernd Leno. Leno made a lot of saves, I think, in that last game. I do think he's a solid keeper at 3 million, is it, Leno? 3 million? I mean, you could save yourself. I'm on sells at 2 million. I think that extra million will be handy for you if you if you wanted to go for sells. I would do well. I'm on him, so I would do that. But yeah, I prefer to look at sells, to be honest with you, and then use that money elsewhere. Could be quite valuable. And then you've got a lot more option. You can go up to 3.5 or even 3 million, and we've just named quite a few good £3 million options there. Yeah, I think my team. I think I'm going to do it. I did want to give Gibbs White and McNeil more time, but like I said on that predicted lineup, they're saying that McNeil might play wing back in a back 5 to cover them not having any right back, which I don't know if that means he plays left wing back and Harrison plays right wing back. God knows, but I don't really like it. I can get a home fixture Everton with a player that I wanted longer term, and then Pereira is a punt at 2.5. Where were we? Jonathan Bennett. I'm taking out Bruno for Matoma. Need a price rise. Lets me swap Kwanzaa with either Vardiol or Trent. I mean, I'm on Vardiol, but I mean Trent was brilliant that last game, and it's not like the fixtures bad for Liverpool. The fixtures are good long term for Liverpool as well. Brentford, Man United, which is an easy fixture. Forest home. Yeah, maybe Trent. Maybe Trent, if you can afford it, maybe Trent. And he is now, doesn't he? I know I've got Vardiol and I'm happy with Vardiol, but there is the odd chance that Vardiol gets an old pep roulette, which you don't have with with Trent. Yeah, good to see you, Jonathan. United will struggle today. Bruno out wouldn't worry me. I don't know. I think United will do all right today, to be honest. I think United will be fine. Terry, thinking Livramento and Joe Linton to Diaz and Murillo. Did consider Rico Lewis, Pep Roulette, not a fan of it, but also have Gavardio and Kraft in mind. I don't mind that. I do think the Rico Lewis thing is going to cause a problem. I do think he will start this game. But how long does he keep starting for with Walker on the bench? But he played really well and he will get that rise. Morning Clunes, sells Trent, Robinson, Hall, Eze, Saka, Gordon, Gibbs, White, Jota, Haaland, Isak. Not sure what changes are really necessary. Gibbs White out from Mbuemo. And the Mbuemo fixture is really hard though. I'm not a massive fan of the Matoma move, but I get why people are doing it for the price rise. If I was going to do Mbuemo or Matoma, I think I would do Matoma. Mbuemo though, Pens. I think it took like 3 corners in that game. I don't think either are bad shouts. Yeah, it's not bad. And his fixtures go good, bad. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Liverpool, possible cup match. Then Southampton home, which is good, but then Manchester City away. But maybe you move them on by that point. You just get the good fixture out of the way. God, I'm only just catching up to the start of the stream. People sounds coming through. Morning, everyone. NC, Phil, Snoopy, Terry. I've spoke Kovacic. Morning, Nathan. Yeah, cheers, NC. I will try and do a few more of these Q&As. We do these. We were doing them on Dream Team Tonic weekly, but the deadline's moved forward now, which might cause us a bit of trouble. But we'll try and get these out every week if we can. Would you use Max Captain? I would save it for a double, 2 fixtures, a double that's more nailed like the European ones, to be honest. Bigger swings, bigger points. I think Haaland could be quite easily the best captain. So I think I'd save it. Quick look at the captaincy poll. 88% are saying Haaland's the best captain out of 370 votes. Salah 4%, Isak 6%, and other 2%. And I haven't seen that many come through in the chat. Morning, Mark. Would you keep Jordan as well? Would you keep Murphy? 3 million. If I was to swap a player, I do think Murphy will do well this week. He was really unlucky to get subbed off. It wasn't his fault, was it? Share got sent off. I wouldn't mind keeping him, unless you're really bothered about price rises. But I think you thought he was good last week. He should still be good this week. Kraft and Madison / Doku or Livramento and Semenyo. Ugh, I don't like the Kraft move, but I do like Madison, Doku. And don't mind Livramento. Semenyo's okay. He'll get the rise. If you think there's a way you can deal with Kraft and downgrade someone else later and upgrade Kraft, then yeah. But if you think you're going to get stuck with Kraft or not be able to replace him, we're seeing people struggle to replace £2 million Barco. So to replace, he is 1.5, isn't he, Kraft? I think you're going to have a real problem replacing him. Yeah, 1.5. I think you're going to have a big... Yeah, you're cool. If you think you can replace Kraft, I do like the look of Madison a lot. So I think I'll move Madison into my team, along with Pereira. What's your team? Team's on the screen now. I don't think it was at the time, though. Looking at doing McNeil to Madison, or Gibbs White to Madison, sorry, and Pereira to in for McNeil. I was looking at a lot of the stats, and there were so many set pieces. And what I liked about both of these guys, they were taking set pieces on both sides, whereas a few of the players were taking in-swingers off one side and not the other. I think they had a combined 20 corners. Madison 12, Pereira 8 in that last game. Madison got the free bonus by hitting 8 ppm, but Pereira was just on 7. And his heat map, he was really quite far advanced. Good morning to Viking Chun, Dan Deakins, Heiner and Gibbs White, Robinson and Murphy. Yeah, I don't mind that. I would... Southampton home. No, Southampton away, isn't it? Yeah, I do. I really like Robinson, to be honest. And Aina was a slight injury doubt. Any City leaks? Right, let's get on Twitter quickly. 20 minutes till the deadline. Kyle Walker has posted a photo of himself with a promo. I wish I could just drop that on the screen here. People doing the eyes emoji that Kyle Walker's posting a picture of him as the starting graphic, but yeah, people were a little bit doubtful about Rico Lewis because of this picture of Kyle Walker, but I don't know how much that sways you really. None of my old leak pages from last season really saying anything yet. Just pictures coming out of Kyle Walker on his story. Check Kyle Walker's Instagram story, but how much you read into that, I don't know. Do we use a chip if we're thinking hat-trick for Haaland? I mean, if you think that Haaland's going to get a hat-trick, the booster, though, the booster for goal bonus is for your whole team, not just Haaland. So you want to be thinking that your whole team is going to score a lot of goals, because Haaland could, in a Champions League week, Haaland could score 2 in the Prem, 1 in the Champions League, or 2 and 2. So I think there'll be better chances with European football in this Dream Team game. Wild shout, Jamie Vardy as a cheap enabler. He was. I don't know, mate. I'm not that keen, really, at 2.5. Good to see him back. Was he 37? I don't think he'll play Carabao as well. Would you use your max captain? No, I'd save it for a double. Murphy, Smith Rowe, and Gibbs White. Would you give them all another week or take one out? I mean, there are those 3 players that didn't really deliver. Maybe taking one out and giving the others a chance. I did want to give mine a bit more of a chance, really. I'm taking Gibbs White out now, I think. It's hard to stay patient, isn't it? But I'm looking, and if I take Gibbs White out, like, it's not like taking Haaland out and he could score a hat trick. I might jinx it, but at best maybe he scores a goal or something. But I wouldn't want to take Smith Rowe out ahead of this week. I like those Fulham fixtures. If you backed him to start with, he did get less minutes than we thought, but Leicester, Birmingham could easily start one, get 20 minutes in the other, and then Ipswich away looks decent as well. So I'll keep Smith Rowe. Maybe it's Murphy out of those that go. Unless you can better use the Gibbs White money. Have Solanke, Porro, ESR, Gibbs White. Who shall I take out with Solanke? I'd keep Porro, definitely. Again, if you, I don't mind ESR or Gibbs White for this week. I think they're both decent options. But if you can better use the Gibbs White money because he's an extra mil, maybe him. I need to get Haaland in. That means I need a 1.5 defender. Thinking Craft. I've mentioned I don't love it. But if it means getting the best possible captain and your captain in Haaland, you could do it and then worry about it next week, maybe. But yeah, I don't love it. Morning, Scott. Want to take Gibbs White out for a 4 million defender. 4 million midfielder. I need to find 0.5. Only option is Henderson out. Do Henderson to sells. Get your 0.5. Southampton. I don't think he plays the second fixture. And then Wolves at home the week after that, and then Liverpool. Maybe hope for some saves. I don't think the extra 0.5 is worth it. And Henderson selling all the defenders, Palace. So yeah, I would maybe do that. Should I base my subs on price increases? I'd only make a sub to get a price increase if you actually want that player. And I don't really like seeing people take out players that they really like just because they're going to go down in price. Like that Bruno. It's like he's not going to be a bad pick just because he had a 1-on-1 saved. Like if he has scored that, he doesn't go down in price, and everyone's like, oh, he's great this week. Yeah, only chase the price rises if it's a play you want and that you'll be happy to be stuck with if something goes wrong. Would you take out Rice due to a price drop? I do think there's better options at 4 million than Rice, especially against Villa. Like I would do Rice to Maddison. Maddison's 4. Maddison versus Everton, Rice versus Villa. I prefer that. Or Doku. I prefer that. Yeah, I probably would take Rice out. Quick refresh of the Twitter feed. We don't know if leaks will be affected because of the change in times. I'm not sure. Someone saying Xerxes starts. If that's any helpful. Yeah, I wonder if they're getting phased out by this change of timing or anything, because I'm not much at all. I'll have a quick look on the Dream Team Tonic Discord as well, because people post it in there. If you're interested in becoming one of our Patreon members or joining the Discord, there's a link in the description below somewhere. You get access to the Discord, articles. Got over 100 members now. Just chatting on a daily basis. Can't see any leaks. Sorry, I'm not in the know myself. I just scan Twitter. Sells Ben Whitehall, Trent Murphy, ESR, Saka, Maddison, Isak, Haaland, and Jota roll, or make transfers. Don't think there's anything wrong with that team. I don't. I think rolling's fine. If you like your team, I would roll. I just started to panic about McNeil and Gibbs White, but I think the only one there, maybe Murphy, but I think he'll do well this week. Daniel McKenzie saying, I feel like Bruno will have a good game today, but might have to do Bruno and Szoboszlai to Saka. Vardiol. Would really like Foden. Yeah, that's the thing with these price increases, if or decreases. If there wasn't any, we'd all be getting Foden this week, I think, against Ipswich. It's really off-putting. But I think those moves are fine. Saka, Vardiol. I think Saka can do well against Aston Villa. I know he didn't do well against them last season, but I think he still does well in these games. I would do those moves. Barco replacements. We've done this. Downgrade someone by a mil if you can, or at worst get a 2.5. Veltman done all right if you were going to have a Brighton anyway. Would you sell Bruno for Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, or Doku? If you really need the money, it'd have to be Doku because the others are going down. You're just taking them. But if you liked Bruno anyway, yeah, Doku's just got a little bit of risk about him. If I was going to take one out anyway, I didn't worry about price. I'd do Foden. I think he'll do well this week if you're not bothered about price. Cheers, Lee, for the super chat. Henson, Porro, Quansah, Livramento, Erdegaard, Gibbs White, Bruno, ESR, Isak, Haaland, Salah. I think I've got to shift Quansah, but who else are you selling, bringing in? Quansah, 3 million. Straight swap. I'd straight swap Quansah to Robinson if you haven't got him. Just 3 million to 3 million. I like the Robinson fixtures. Erdegaard, Gibbs White, Bruno, ESR. Got a few that will go down, so I would want to try and get the price change. I'm doing how much Erdegaard? 5. 5 million. I mean, if you haven't got Vardiol, you could drop him. Either go Vardiol into the back line, and then you got 3.5 for a defender, but I'd still maybe do Robinson, or you could do Robinson in for Quansah, Erdegaard to 4 or 4.5. I still like Maddison. I mean, I'm bringing in Maddison, so if you wanted to use that extra there, you save $1 million. Yeah, maybe Robinson Robinson into your defence, and then Maddison, I think, looks quite nice for this week. Or even Eze. Maddison will get the rise. I think Eze or Maddison look pretty good options for Erdegaard. It gives you a little bit of money to make your decision on Quansah, but I quite like Robinson's fixtures for Fulham. I think they're going to be good at the back. If you want to get Vardiol instead and spend the money in the defence, I like Vardiol as well for Ipswich. Not seen any leaks on if he starts though. What, we're on 9 minutes. So that's my team as it stands on the screen. I'm just going to refresh that. I get paranoid these won't go through. Madison, Pereira, Haaland captain. Where were we at with this? Quick look again on any leaks. So Walker just sharing on his Instagram story a picture of himself. Xerxes apparently starting, but there's nothing. They're rumbled. Nine minutes. Get locked. Get your teams locked in. But it's looking very bare on the leaks front. Nothing going on in the Discord. Nothing going on Twitter. Apart from Xerxes starting and maybe Kyle Walker. Oi, Ben Coles. Is Matoma essential with the easy fixtures? Yeah, mate. Like Man United, that's an easy fixture for Matoma. People bringing him in because the price rise, and he could do well, but I do think Man United at home, they're not going to smash them. They have got a good record. I don't think he gets Crawley. And then Arsenal, I'd be backing that as a clean sheet fixture for Arsenal. Brighton at home. Maybe game week 4, Ipswich home looks nice. But then we'll have another lot of Carabao and we'll have Champions League, and everyone will be going, you need to have a full team of Champions League players. So then you'd probably be taking him out for that unless you want to keep him. I get Ben's humour. He's not a fan. But Ben, I'm bottling it. I said I was gonna hold firm with Gibbs White and McNeil, but the pressure's getting to me, man. Cheers for the super chat. 7 minutes to go. Lock them teams in. Barco replacements. We're not got any more Barco replacements. Michael Blackburn, morning all, ESR and Murillo to Munoz and Irobingham. 1.5 million, done really well for bonus and tackles, I think it was. You know what? If you had to get a 1.5 million player and it didn't matter where, I'd be getting him over Kraft if I could. Because at least he's going to play. First decent fixtures, but you get price rises rather than drops. Yeah, I would make those moves, mate. I think Munoz is good for West Ham home. I just put Minte in, hope he starts. I think if he doesn't start, I do think he'll probably get the second fixture. Matoma, what do you think? Loads putting him in. Yeah, I don't think he's a bad player. Like, I've had him loads of times on Dream Team. I'm just surprised that he's the most transferred in is all. If he was that good, why was no one starting with him against Everton? Unless we forgot. But it's the price rise. It's a 0.3 price rise that people mostly want him for. Vardy, Matoma, or Welbeck. Matoma. But the same applies for Welbeck. Welbeck won just as well as Matoma. We're not bringing him in for a 0.3. Mr. Millwall, do I put in Jota and Munoz or Salah and James Hill? James Hill? Is he going to start? He might play the cup game. Nah. Jota, Munoz. Don't be getting James Hill, I don't think, mate. You'll be getting him out again. All right. I'm not going to get through all these. Jesus. Can't decide between rolling transfer or to try and get Haaland in. The only way I could do that is still have a good team would be to switch Trent and Son to Haaland and Robinson. I mean, you knew Ipswich was coming, unless you did initially plan to get Haaland in. If you have got a no Haaland team and you thought it was good to start with, I do think Salah or Son are decent captaincy picks for this week as well. But I wouldn't ever go without Haaland personally. Yeah, you either stick to your guns or you go for Haaland and Robinson. I've got Haaland and Robinson in my team, so that was the way I thought was best. But there's nothing wrong with going. If you think you got it wrong in game week 1, there's nothing wrong with backtracking. There's nothing wrong with that. Just yeah, I've got Haaland and Robinson, so that's my answer. But I do think your team probably does look pretty good. Neil Jones thinking of changing Gordon for Vardiol. Unsure as Newcastle have double game week. I think Vardiol's a good long-term pick, so I don't mind it. You're going to get a price rise and a long-term pick. So I don't mind doing that. But yeah, you wouldn't be surprised if Gordon does score. 3 minutes, lock these teams in. I'll just refresh, make sure I'm still locked in. Maddison and Pereira in for me. Going for the set pieces, the assists. Haaland captain. Would you use your max captain? No. Would you captain Eze over Haaland? No. Best defender for 2 million. Try and get an extra mil somewhere. Don't like that. Best for 2.5. maybe Kilman, Veltman. There's not much there. Tete was playing that for Fulham at 2.5. I listened to a review of their match from a fan pod, and they were saying they think Tete over Castagne is going to be a regular thing. 2 minutes to go, people. Lock in. Matoma, obvious trap move this week. You've got to consider the game week 3 fixture for whoever you bring in this week. Yeah, that is what I think. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Matoma does end up scoring or something, but it's not for me. Does he read normal comments? I do. There's just a lot of them, and I can't only talk so fast. Michael Hodgson, Captain Haaland, Vardy, and Isak. Haaland. Yes, but he's only on the first half a dozen. Tom Fairburn, Kulusevski will start ahead of Johnson. I imagine they both start, don't they? They were playing Kulusevski as false 9 before Solanke started, so maybe they start both. If they might do Kulusevski at false 9, I'd be surprised they throw Richarlison back in. I don't know if he's available or not, but I think they'll both start. I can't read out whole teams. We've got 1 minute to go. Lock in, set them captains. Job done. Good luck, everyone. Semenyo from Murphy. Yeah, I don't mind that. That's all right. I like that. Good player to replace Mikalenko with. Robinson. Same price. Blimey, I didn't realise Twitter comments came through on here. Hello to everyone on Twitter. That must be a new feature. Twitter comments never used to work. Right, 1 minute. I don't think any of these are going to get locked in before deadline, so I'm not gonna answer the 1 minute to go ones because you'll end up messing up your team. So yeah, sorry, there's a lot of comments here. Sorry, I couldn't get through them all. Morning, Matt Tingle, Callum Doyle, Tony Woodrow, Keith Lee, Jess Bailey, Mark Warner, Will Stennin. We got loads of you today. Keep coming at these times. We're going to do these on my channel and the Dream Team Tonic as well. If you don't follow the Dream Team Tonic podcast already, and you're on YouTube, there's a link in the description for it. We're doing a pod on Monday to our Patreon members, then it goes out a couple of days later after that. Let's refresh this, see if we're locked in. There we go. That is game week 2's lineup for me. Yeah, sorry to the guys that couldn't get through here. That is a lot of comments. So thanks for commenting anyway, and always leave a comment on my videos, or if you're on Twitter, I get back to DMs as quick as I can on there as well. But yeah, getting a lot of messages. So cheers to everyone that's tuned in. Let me see if we can see any updates on captaincy and stuff like that from FF stuff. Oh yeah, if you wouldn't mind, cheers Amelia. Give the video a like as well. I forgot to do any like or subscribe plugs. I think the chat's subscriber anyway. Let's have a look and see if we can get any info of FF stuff. Actually, we can look at price changes as well. See if they're any different to last time round. Where's the Let's look at total points then, or by price. So Haaland stayed the same. Luke, on the changes, last night, I'm on TikTok as well if anyone wants to follow on there. But yeah, I posted my thinking out on YouTube yesterday or the day before, and TikTok as well. I was debating between holding and then doing that, but unlike everyone else, I tinker till the very last minute. But got cold feet on holding. After seeing that Everton have 14 players available. Right. Haaland stayed the same after 9 points. Salah's got a 0.2 rise from his 15 points. De Bruyne gone down 0.2. Saka's got a 0.3 rise. Foden down 0.3 for his 2-pointer. So if we want to get Foden in next week, he's cheaper for us, or De Bruyne. And then you imagine they're going to make that price rise back up. Bruno, 6 million, 6 points, stayed the same. And so did Palmer for 5 points, actually. I feel like they were a little bit harsher on that last time. Just seen Jen say Sells has gone up 0.1 with 3 points. Amelia on 51.4. You did this last season. You were money bags last year with that budget building. What am I on? 51.2. Not far behind you. 51.2 budget for me. Ollie Watkins down to 5.8. If he blanks again, gets another 0.2. It'd be nice to pick up Ollie Watkins for game week 3 or 4, a fair bit cheaper. Trent's gone up 0.2. Kudu staying the same. I'm going to have a look at CFFF stuff. I didn't check this last week. Game week captains. Core. How do I share this? Looks to me like there's a lot of people that might have forgot to change the captaincy. Share this tab instead. Top 1K captains. Oh, top 1K. Still, let's do overall. Oh, that's game week 1 though. Game week 2 is saying Salah at 39.8% in the top 1K. I imagine a lot of people either didn't change it or didn't have Haaland, but 33.4% goes against what our poll was saying. Our poll was saying 87%, but it is the top 1K. Yeah, TS Editor is right though. Salah Brentford at home as well is still a really good captaincy. You wouldn't be surprised if Salah ends up outscoring him. That's not bad. Isak 12% with a double game week. Again, not bad. Let me see what else we've got going on FF stuff. Here we go. Note for game week 1. Top X is after the leaderboard update. This table update for the top 100, top 1K immediately. So we can see the top 100 and the top 1K immediately after the rollover. Other options will be a few hours later. Morning to SDT Coddy. Give him a sub as well. He's got a Dream Team YouTube channel, so head over to that as well. Where was I on there? So game week captains. I don't know if the ownership updates straight away. I think this is a little bit behind. Price rises, price changes, price additions. No, I think that's all we've got for now. Yeah, Salah, most captained. Most of top 1K played a booster. Yeah, I did see there's quite a lot of people played goal bonus game week 1. Yeah, I reckon a lot of people forgot to change their captain, I think, potentially on this. But yeah, I think that's it. Now, time to locked in on FPL as well. Time to have a little sort out a Telegraph, I think. That's the only other one. Fan team all sorted. Philip bought in Tielemans for corners and maybe penalties. It's the same sort of thinking why I've bought in Pereira, really. I do think picking these 2.5 or cheap players. Oh, Tielemans is a bit more expensive, isn't he? He's 3 million. Gone up to 3.3. Laughing. Yeah, that's a good point on Tielemans with penalties, actually. Decent penalty taker. Thought it could be Watkins, but could very well be Tielemans. Right, I think that's everything. Yeah, leave a like if you've enjoyed that. We're gonna try and bring these every week, either myself or Dream Team Tonic, depending when the deadline is. But yeah, see you on the next video. I'll probably be putting one out start of next week. Maybe do a recap of all the top point scorers. I might try and do them ones live potentially. Top point scorers and talking points from the weekend, and then my usual top players to target. And then Monday, recording with the Dream Team Tonic. We'll be doing a little bit of a look back at the previous weekend and then our thoughts going into game week 3. For game week 3, we'll also have, I'll quickly just show you FF stuff again, because you need to be on this. You can look at their fixture grid. It's the same ticker that I use. But after game week 2, once these matches have been played, we'll know the next round of Carabao, which will be put into game week 4. So this bit here will be the winners of game week 2. Game week 4 will be filled out because we'll know who the Champions League or all the European teams will be playing, because that draws on the 28th, I think, 28th or 29th. So that will fill out a lot more of the ticker. So it should be quite helpful. And then Carabao Cup will be in game week 5 as well for those teams that play Champions League. So we'll have a lot more information next week. So tune into those pods. Good luck, everyone. Yeah, hope you get your Haaland hat tricks with the armband on. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.